It was pouring in downtown Chicago. Slick streets echoed with roaring puddles and thunderous claps. Beneath an awning across the street huddled a lone figure. A tattered coat did little to shield his frame from the elements, and his worn hat couldn't hide the lines etched deep into his forehead. Despite the downpour, the old man didn't budge. He was waiting for a car that would soon pull up outside a luxurious apartment building just a few steps away. Inside, a woman stood by the window watching the storm. Her name was Emma Carter, a tech prodigy known for pioneering self-driving cars. But tonight, she wasn't thinking about work. She was focused on a problem far more pressing: her date, who was running late. She tried not to let it bother her. After all, she was used to being waited on. But this time, a sudden flash of lightning illuminated a familiar sight on her phone screen: an email notification from her assistant. "Mr. Brooks will be there shortly. Please be patient." Emma scoffed. Mr. Brooks always said that. But something about his words tonight set her off. She crumpled onto the plush sofa, its designer fabric doing little to soften the blow. Her gaze fell onto her phone, scrolling through pictures of past dates. Faces swam before her eyes, each more polished and predictable than the last. She shut her phone with a snap. Why couldn't anyone just show up? Was it so much to ask? A knock at the door startled her. She hadn't heard it over the pounding rain. Thinking it might be Mr. Brooks finally arrived, she crossed the room to open it. But instead of finding a handsome CEO or charming venture capitalist, Emma came face to face with the weathered stranger from downstairs. His clothes were soaked, his shoes were muddy, and his eyes held a kindness she'd never seen in those who shared her social circle. Can I help you?" she asked, taken aback by his presence. The old man extended a hand, his fingers gnarled and worn like the pages of an ancient book. "Ma'am," he said, his voice raspy yet comforting. "I'm here about your car." Confused, Emma hesitated, then glanced toward the door. "My car? But Mr. Brooks." The man shook his head gently. "He's not coming, ma'am. I can see that." His words hung in the air, carrying the weight of unspoken truths. In that moment, Emma felt a shift within her, a stirring of emotion she'd long kept at bay. With a sigh, she stepped aside. "Come in. Tell me what's going on." The truth was, Emma's car wasn't just a luxury vehicle. It was a marvel of engineering, a shining testament to her dedication. But now it wouldn't start. And as she listened to the stranger's story, she realized that sometimes life's most valuable lessons come from the most unexpected places. Outside, the storm raged on, but inside, a different kind of journey was about to begin. As the evening wore on, Emma and the old man talked, not about cars or repairs, but about life, dreams, and the choices that shape our paths. His name was Thomas, and he was a retired mechanic who'd once worked on her very car. He told her about his family, his joys, his struggles, and the decisions that led him to this moment. Each word was a brushstroke painting a vivid portrait of a man whose life had been deeply intertwined with hers in ways she never imagined. Meanwhile, Emma found herself opening up in ways she hadn't anticipated. She spoke about her ambitions, her fears, and the loneliness that often accompanies success. There was no pretense, no polished facade. It was just two souls connecting over a shared humanity. As the rain continued its relentless drumming on the windows, Emma felt a warmth spread through her. She realized that sometimes the connections we make in the midst of a storm can be the brightest rays of sunshine in our lives. With newfound clarity, Emma decided it was time to face the challenges she'd been avoiding. She no longer wanted to put off dealing with her ailing car. She got up, her movements infused with a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in weeks. "Thomas, you mentioned earlier that you might be able to take a look at my car tomorrow. Would you?" she asked, her voice firm with resolve. Thomas met her gaze, a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. "I'd like that, ma'am. Maybe we can get it running again." Emma nodded, her heart lighter than it had been in months. She led Thomas to the door, her steps echoing her determination. "I'll see you then," she said, turning back to face the faintest glimmer of a smile on his lips. As Thomas left, the storm outside seemed to quiet a bit, as if the heavens themselves were applauding the newfound strength blooming within Emma. The next morning, the sun peeked timidly through the clouds, casting a soft glow over the city. Emma stood before her sleek, albeit problematic, car, a strange mix of trepidation and excitement in her chest. Beside her, Thomas surveyed the vehicle with the practiced eye of an experienced mechanic. "So, what's the verdict?" Emma asked, her voice betraying her nervousness. Thomas turned, his gaze as steady as the sunrise. "It's a big job, but I think we can handle it. Come along," he said, gesturing toward the car. "Let's see if we can get her purring like a kitten." And with that, they disappeared into the belly of the beast, the car that had become a metaphor for Emma's life. Hours passed, ticking away like the seconds on a stopwatch. Emma worked alongside Thomas, her hands stained with grease, her hair escaping its confines. She examined wires, tested connections, and listened intently as Thomas explained the intricacies of the engine. It was a crash course in automotive mechanics, but Emma was eager to learn. She understood that sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places. And as the engine sputtered back to life, she knew she'd gained more than just a working car. She'd discovered a passion she hadn't known she possessed. But with the car fixed, a new dilemma arose. Emma had no way to repay Thomas for his help. She knew his expertise was invaluable, and she wanted to show her gratitude. Then it struck her like a bolt of lightning. She called her team together and outlined her vision. Together, they crafted a plan. They created a haven where those with a passion for mechanics could hone their skills, share their knowledge, and receive recognition for their talent. Emma named it the Auto Haven Workshop, a tribute to the place where it all began for her. Soon, Auto Haven became more than just a workshop. It evolved into a vibrant community, a hub where seasoned mechanics like Thomas and aspiring gearheads rubbed shoulders, swapping stories and expertise over the rumble of engines. As the years rolled on, Emma's life took unexpected turns, each shaped by the lessons learned on that fateful, stormy night. She became a leading advocate for safer vehicles, pushing for change in the industry. Her work touched countless lives, preventing accidents and saving families from the heartbreak she knew all too well. And Thomas. He found a renewed sense of purpose in mentoring the next generation of mechanics, passing on the torch with a twinkle in his eye and a wealth of wisdom in his weathered hands. One rainy afternoon, years later, Emma found herself drawn back to her humble abode, the same apartment where it all began. Standing at the window, she watched the rain dance on the glass, each drop a tiny drumbeat in the orchestra of the storm. Below, on the street corner, stood Thomas, his form a bit more stooped with age but his spirit as vibrant as ever. He was waiting, not for a luxurious car, but for a battered old truck. When the vehicle rumbled to a stop, Emma saw a group of children emerge, their faces alight with laughter. Thomas greeted them with a warm smile, his eyes crinkling at the corners. It was a scene that tugged at Emma's heartstrings, reminding her of the profound impact Thomas had on not just her life, but the lives of those around him. As the years spun their intricate web, one thing remained constant, the bond forged on that stormy night, the night that a millionaire and a homeless man came together, not because of their differences, but because of the shared humanity that transcended them.